The world is watching with bated breath to see what the final numbers will be for the US midterm elections. I'm Barkha Dutt. You're with the Mojo Story. On the program today, we'll be speaking to a very special newsmaker in moments from now, a key aide of Donald Trump. This on a day when it looks like the Republicans have not managed a red wave, but could still be poised to take control of both the House and the Senate. There have been close contests in several states, and the Democrats are claiming that Joe Biden has made history because historically the midterms are taken by the party in opposition. In the midst of this, Donald Trump has a teaser coming later this month. Is a big announcement. Most people believe that he will be announcing his bid to run for president again. In the United States of America, divided by politics and ideology like never before, what could that run look like? And coming against the backdrop of abortion protests, the right to reproductive autonomy on the streets, we are going to be speaking with Shalabh Kumar, well-known US industrialist, the man behind the slogan Ab Ki Baar Trump Sarkar, and somebody who's been a very, very vocal speaker when it comes to US-India relations, as well as, of course, the leader of the Republican Hindu coalition. Let's introduce our newsmaker today, Shalabh Kumar. Good to see you, sir. It's been a while, and it's great to reconnect. Your first thoughts, these numbers as they stack up, and it could take a couple of days before we have the final picture. Basically, the Dems are saying the Republicans missed a red wave, and that in itself is Joe Biden making history. Before I come to Donald Trump, how do you see the numbers?
Well, it is not a red wave, but it's a pink wave. So the House is going to be taken over by the Republican Party. Kevin McCarthy will be the new Speaker of the House with a slim margin, within like 10 votes. But it's still, nonetheless, it is. He'll be the speaker, and some of the policy changes which we are seeking, the small business community is seeking, and people in general are seeking, like removal of the 80,000 new inspectors or IRS agents Kevin McCarthy wants to get rid of, which Biden put on. So that will be there. And finally, the control of the Senate is going to depend on Georgia. It's going to come down to Georgia. We may get lucky that there are 48 right now. We need 3 more. It could be Nevada and Ron Johnson in Wisconsin. We were quite active there. That for sure will win. But then, ultimately it's going to boil down to runoff on December 7th in Georgia, just like last time.
Yeah. Are you disappointed, though? Because there was a sense, the Democrats were claiming that the Roe v. Wade issue, the debate around abortion would be the key factor. The Republicans thought it would be inflation. You're saying it's not a red wave, but a pink wave. Are you disappointed?
A little. I would say that. I would have to admit that. The economy was a big factor. Inflation was a big factor, just like in UK. And here, though, if the Supreme Court of the United States had not turned over Roe v. Wade, it will be a red wave. So, but that did make a huge difference in suburban women vote. That became the number one issue. Instead of economy, Roe v. Wade, abortion rights, that became the number one issue, as it is obvious from the exit polls, in particularly the states where it was very, very close.
So you believe that abortion trumped inflation as an issue?
That is an issue, but that's always been the issue. Trump appointed Supreme Court justices, removed that, outlawed Roe v. Wade, and allowed the states to determine what their legislation with respect to abortion will be. It caused a lot of grief in a lot of different states. So this is a hot topic for liberal-minded, also a lot of independents. So that is a hot topic. But what happens in 2 years? That's anybody's call. So the 2024, I do not believe that will be decided on abortion. That will be decided on normal you know, domestic policy, foreign policy. Biden has gotten us into a war with whether it's the Ukraine war with Russia. Would have never happened if it was President Trump. During the 4 years of President Trump, uh, peace through strength, no war. There was no war in those 4 years, and so those will be more of those issues. So 2 years
Yeah.
is a long time.
Well, of course, talking earlier with women on the Democratic side, they believe that reproductive autonomy will be an issue right up until 2024. It's been a key issue this time, which even you tend to agree with. And of course, they argue that it's not divorced from economic issues. But I want to deep dive now straight into Donald Trump and his plans. You have been a key aide, a supporter. In fact, we have all of these images there of you with President Trump. And you are the man behind the slogan, Ab ki baar Trump Sarkar. Now, my question to you is this: will President Trump in any way be dejected, and will this alter these numbers, this not being a red wave but a pink wave, alter in any ways his plans to run in 2024?
I don't believe so. And our community, Hindu American, about 3.2 million Hindu American voters, total 6 million Hindu Americans in the United States. We definitely want President Trump to run. We have complete total endorsement of President Trump, and is in the next week or so it'll be decided. You kind of perhaps maybe not totally aware of his interaction with the Hindu community. He celebrated it on October 21st. He opened up Mar-a-Lago, and that was,
Yeah.
we celebrated Diwali there, and he opened up his home for celebration of Diwali. We had 183 of our top leadership in the country come to Mar-a-Lago, and he spent a lot of time with us. It was a fantastic event. We celebrated, or we actually decorated Mar-a-Lago as more like a Udaipur Lake Palace. So it was, turned into almost like a destination wedding type of atmosphere we created, and President loved it, and our people loved it. So yeah, he is very much for Prime Minister Modi, for India. He has recorded now a new catchphrase, which is Bharat and America sabse achhe dost. He says it quite fluently, and he's repeated it many times. And there is no better president of the United States that is more friendly to Bharat, to India, than any other president in the history or ever could be.
So you of course are, lots of things in there. You believe that the Hindu American community is rallying behind Trump. You're talking about, of course, President Trump and Prime Minister Modi, and that relationship. My question is this: there are people in India who believe that when Prime Minister Modi and President Trump shared a stage before the last election, perhaps India made a mistake by wading into the domestic politics. You never take a side in another country's politics. Do you believe that you remember that Howdy Modi event? Do you believe that was a kind of delicate tightrope from an Indian perspective, that India shouldn't have got involved in seeming to take sides?
On one side, I am glad that Prime Minister Modi used the phrase which I coined, "Ab ki baar Trump Sarkar," but I think it was a little bit over the line. Normal, heads of the states of foreign countries, they do not go that much, not use the campaign slogan, even though External Affairs Minister Jaishankar, a good friend of mine, he had clarified that it was in a different sense. But yeah, it could have. I mean, it's really like a 51-49 type of decision.
So are you sure that Donald Trump, despite these numbers, is going to run again?
Oh, absolutely. He's determined to run, and he is going to run. There is a talk of Governor DeSantis out of Florida that possibly, or Mike Pence, may be able to mount a challenge. But DeSantis is the governor of Florida, only because of Donald Trump. If Donald Trump did not endorse him in the primary, he would not be the governor. He's done a pretty good job. And, as a governor of Florida, we support him. But there's nothing like nobody else like President Trump on not only the Pakistan policy, foreign policy, domestic policy, of course. There's no one who did the economy in the first 3 years like a 3.5% unemployment, almost close to 3.5% GDP growth, and the 401ks doubled, stock market doubled, and so there is nobody like President Trump. But the most important issue going forward from 2024 on, or starting now, is China. Pakistan is a small thing now, but China is the major power. Soviet Union or Russia now. Russia is a Chinese satellite state. Pakistan is a China satellite state. And if we do not have a president who sees that very clearly, we will all have to learn Mandarin.
You actually think that Trump is the best equipped to take on China?
Absolutely. Actually, I'm writing a book endorsed by President Trump. He's going to write a foreword to it. The book is Chinese Colonization of America 2049. Openly, they declare that. China is declaring that, but we do not listen. Even the Wall Street doesn't quite totally listen to that. No American politician pays that close of an attention. Just do a math. 7% a year, $15 trillion economy. In 2049, there will be an $80 trillion economy. And U.S. at best may be able to manage 2%. We will be a $40 trillion economy, half the size of the Chinese economy, half the expenditure. And they are definitely in a dictatorial type of a environment. They are more efficient than democracy. That's usually the case anyway. So, one country, my Janambhumi, can probably challenge that. However, Bharat has to get rid of the cancer of corruption. Mm-hmm. If this cancer of corruption goes away, then India's GDP growth can double. There are so many bright, so brilliant people in India that, if they are fully energized in development, in innovation, in manufacturing, then India can take over China.
In fact, we have just out in the last few hours a Morgan Stanley report that is forecasting that India will be the third largest economy in the world in the next few years. So there's lots to look ahead to that. But I want to come back to these elections. Mr. Kumar, the Democrats, of course, have referenced the violence that took place on the January 6th at the Capitol. And you've been also following, as is the world, and we have those images of that violence, those televised sort of hearings. And a lot of the Democrats today, even on this platform, have been saying that the Republicans today don't believe in democracy. These are democracy deniers, and they name Trump as a democracy denier. How do you respond to that charge?
If you are in the United States currently, but you get deep inside the politics of United States. I am in Illinois, Chicago, and there is the Delhi machine here. There is no question there is a lot of fraud in United States. I don't have any statistics to compare it to India, but there is a lot of fraud in American elections, and particularly 200,000 a month illegals coming across the border, our southern border. And, whereas I have worked, for example, 16 plus 11, I say 27 years to earn the right to vote, my vote can easily get negated by a simple person crossing 50 yards of water in southern border. Because, they get fake IDs, and the Democrats are they push very hard to make a vote possible for everyone. Just anyone who's present in the United States can easily just sign a little certificate that I'm a citizen of the United States, I'm a resident here, and I can vote. I have personal experience with that. So there is a lot of issue. 2020 was a big problem. There is a normal fraud in the country in the elections, but because of COVID, lot more, double the amount of number of email, or not the email, mail voting, double the number. So that's what caused the 2021 issue. But I advise President Trump, and he is also, I think, going to move a little bit more. His closest advisors, including me, we advise him that move away, just move out of 2020. That's gone. That's 2 years. And now 2024, let's look forward. Let's not look back. And there's no question, absolutely no question that our party or Republican Party will be anti-democracy. I mean, we fought for democracy in the Second World War. We are the champions of democracy.
So you don't agree with this word democracy deniers when you talk about the fraud in the U.S. polls? You know, the point being made on U.S. networks this morning here is that those who question democracy have also won by the same process. Many of the Republicans who won today have won by the same process that's being damned. So how do you see that? And finally, what is your advice? What is your one advice to President Trump? If there's one thing he should change in his focus, in his approach, what would it be according to you?
It's very difficult to change President Trump. I think the only person he listens to is Ivanka. And but anyway, and you interviewed us actually 4 years ago.
Yes. I remember that.
Manasvi and myself, so correlating to that. But he listens to Ivanka. But he's got to move on. He just forget about talking about 2020. We don't need to talk about 2020. That is the number one, the advice I will give President Trump. He's already doing a lot for the Hindu community, and he's totally committed to it. There's a lot of legislation he has agreed to, like saving 250,000 Indian kids to be deported, called the Dalka issue. So there, and totally cutting off foreign aid to Pakistan, having sustained tariffs on China, so that we could bring manufacturing back to the United States, and some of it which cannot be brought to the United States, move it to India. So, all the policy fronts, that's what he should be focusing on. That is domestic as well as foreign policies. And he will have a fantastic victory. I'm predicting, not like Reagan 1984, but he will have what we will call in the United States a landslide in 2024.
And you feel that optimism despite the midterms being slender, pink and not red for the Republicans.
That's right. But it is still a win. It's still a win. It's a pink win if it's not a red wave. In fact, at the Diwali celebration on October 21st, President had said that, it could be a red wave. It could be he didn't use the word pink wave. That's my word. But he says, it could be moderate. It could be a thump. It could be, it depends on where it goes. So he did not predict that there's going to be a red wave. It's a lot of pollsters that were predicting a red wave. He never said that there's going to be a red wave.
Well, I think to a couple of important news points there. You're saying despite these numbers, despite the shade of the win, if it's a win, it's a win. And two, you do not see President Trump backing off, but your advice to him is to leave what happened in 2020 behind. We will leave it there. Shalabh Kumar, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Key aide to Donald Trump, underlining that Trump is definitely going to run in 2024 and seeing the midterms as pink, not red, but a win nevertheless. Thank you, Mr. Kumar, and we'll be in touch with you as time goes along and we have a clearer picture of the midterms. Take care and have a great day. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.